Welcome, Marshall fans, to this new edition of Hilltopper Headlines. It appears the weather is shaping up, and a few topper teams have been able to get outside and begin their spring season schedules. Scores from the previous week include a 2-game series split for Marshall's baseball team back on April 9th. The boys traveled to Breck High School, where they lost 7-9 in Game 1, but would bounce back very strong in Game 2, winning by a score of 5-0. Sophomore Derek Wynn had a great day swinging the bat, recording 3 hits and driving in 2 runs. And senior Peter Lenz threw a no-hitter in Game 2 against the Mustangs, which we will talk more about later in the show. Unfortunately, the weather wasn't quite what it needed to be for the boys' tennis team in their match on Monday at Aitkin. Matches were canceled after 3 rounds due to snow and will be rescheduled for a later date. Well, we have just 2 more teams to cover for our spring season previews, those 2 being the 2 competing on the diamond. The softball team, coached by Steve Jezierski, will look to come out swinging after a tough loss in last year's sections. Seniors Jocelyn Krieger and Sarah Fearon will look to lead a very young but talented topper squad this year. Along with a difficult Lake Superior Conference schedule, the team will play in 2 weekend tournaments, those being the Badger Tournament in late April and a Sauk Rapids Tournament in early May. The team's first game is scheduled for tomorrow versus Virginia at Wade Field, first pitch at 4:30. Moving to baseball, Coach Joe Wicklund and his team are off to a 1-1 start still very early in the season. It is a young roster this year with only 4 seniors. The Toppers will face a heavy road schedule earlier in the season until the 28th, when they will play their first home game at the historic Wade Stadium. We talked earlier about Peter Lenz and his no-hitter in Game 2 versus Breck, a performance that landed him a feature story in the Duluth News-Tribune. We also had time to catch up with Lenz to talk about his no-hitter and a season outlook for this year's team. All right, Peter, first, congrats on the no-hitter. Obviously a big achievement for anybody, any level. People always talk about, you're in a game, you don't want to jinx it. Did you know you had a no-hitter going on, or did you kind of just let that leave your mind and just focus on pitching?
I knew I was throwing one, but I kind of tried not to focus on it. I know a lot of the times people in the dugout will be like, you can't talk to him or anything like that, but we didn't do anything like that. We just kept going like it was a normal game and didn't change anything that was going on. I know after the first inning, I struck the first 3 guys out of the game, so I was like, I'll keep going with the same routine. I had this one coach hold my glove in between innings every inning, so I just kept that going. And
so kind of worked in some superstitions, but also just kind of went with the flow.
Uh-huh.
So what was that feeling like? You got that last out, realized you had the no-hitter. Explain that to me.
It was pretty special. I've never thrown a no-hitter before, so it was a really special moment for me. But it was just a regular season game, so it didn't mean too much for the season, but hopefully it's just a good start.
Yep, something to build off of.
Mm-hmm.
As a 3-sport athlete, is there anything in your career that you could compare to this no-hitter?
I think feeling-wise, scoring the goal against East, the first goal of that game was pretty comparable, but I think memory-wise, this will be something that I remember longer, and it's a more rare occasion. So.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And last question, just after 2 games, you guys split with Breck. Can you give us an early season kind of outlook on what the team's going to be like this year and what we can expect?
I think we're gonna be a good team. We're a little young, but those guys coming in are looking really good so far in practice, and in those first 2 games they played really well. So I think we're gonna be a strong team. I think that hopefully we can compete and move on to the state tournament this year.
Great. Thank you for stopping in.
Yeah,
Good luck the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you.
The Toppers' next game will be tomorrow at Aitkin High School. Well, before we leave, we want to remind you that the speech team will have 3 members competing in state at Lakeville North High School tomorrow. Speeches will be starting at 10:15 a.m. Those competing include Zach Kaplan, Kellen McKee, and Vanna Lagergren. Best of luck and safe travels to those 3 and Coach Johnson. Looking ahead to what the rest of the week entails for Marshall activities, softball has a game today and tomorrow. Girls golf will be competing in an invitational today at Pine City Country Club, and the boys golf team has a match versus Shattuck St. Mary's tomorrow at Legacy Golf Course. And as we wrap up, remember Facebook and Twitter will have all those scores and updates for you to check on and teams competing this weekend. We thank you for watching Hilltopper Headlines. I'm your host, Andrew Colvard, wishing everyone a great rest of the day, and as always, go Toppers.